Why did you come back? Just send us the money and disappear. The harsh words that greeted me upon my return from years of working abroad were from my wife, Mariana, and my daughter, Kathy. Is that okay with you too? That's what I told the two of them, who knew nothing. After immediately signing the divorce papers, I transferred all the assets to Mariana and decided to return abroad. Then they pleaded for me to come back. My name is Mike. I turned 54 this year. I have a daughter, Kathy, who is 22, and my wife, Mariana. Mariana was my high school classmate, and at our reunion, we really hit it off. The year after we got married, Kathy was born, and she just recently became an adult. I was very happy spending every day with them, but at some point, I began to feel that something was off with Mariana's attitude. Mariana, a stay-at-home mom, always took care of household chores like cleaning and cooking. But around the time she turned 40, she gradually began to slack off. At first, I thought maybe she was feeling unwell or there was some reason, so I decided to actively help out with the household chores. But gradually, things got worse, and Mariana began to ignore me more often when I spoke to her. Though I was at home, I felt as if I was being treated as if I weren't there, and it made me feel very lonely. Moreover, perhaps because she saw how Mariana was acting, Kathy started treating me the same way. Until I turned 50, I felt trapped and uncomfortable in my own home. At 50, I had just become an apartment head with a lot of work, and I couldn't relax even when I got home. It wasn't a great situation, and sometimes I would even stay at a nearby hotel. To outsiders, it probably looked like our marriage had fallen apart. But I hadn't changed my feelings of caring for them deeply, and I wanted to improve our relationship going forward. That's when it was decided that I would go on an overseas assignment. I have something to tell you. I've been assigned to work abroad for a few years. Oh, really? Have a good trip? Going abroad sounds tough. I talked to them about the overseas assignment, but they seemed indifferent, as if they wouldn't miss me much. I don't know when I'll be able to return, but that doesn't mean I can fix our relationship right away. I'll start working on mending our relationship after I return to Japan. I made up my mind and headed for my overseas assignment. And 4 years later, I finally decided to return to Japan. I hadn't told Mariana and Kathy, thinking I'd surprise them. With my heart pounding, I boarded the plane carrying a large suitcase on my way home. I'm home. Is no one home? I called out loudly from the entrance, but no one came. I left my suitcase in the entrance for a moment and peeked into the living room and their rooms. No one was there. It seemed they were both out. But I figured they would be back soon. Thinking that, I unpacked my luggage and waited for their return while watching TV in the living room. However, even after 11 p.m., they hadn't returned, and I started to worry. Where could they be this late? I hope they haven't got into some trouble. Imagining the worst, I hurriedly called Mariana, but it went straight to voicemail, so I couldn't determine her safety. It was the same with Kathy. She didn't answer her phone at all. They didn't return the next day, but 3 days after I got back, Mariana and Kathy finally came home. It was so fun. It was our first time staying at a place like that. Totally, it was really nice being able to do whatever we wanted without them around. The moment the front door opened, I could hear their voices saying that. I turned off the TV I was half watching and headed to the entrance with heavy steps. Welcome back. Well, you scared me. Why are you here? Seriously, don't scare us like that. They sounded slightly angry, but I was more upset about not being able to contact them for so long. Also, they each had a suitcase, suggesting they had been on a trip. I came back because my overseas assignment ended. I even called, but where had you been? On a trip? Is that so bad? We were in a good mood until now, but this is the worst. Exactly. I'm going to my room to rest, Kathy said, and holed up in her room. Mariana, avoiding making eye contact, went into the bedroom. Feeling indescribable emotions, I turned on the TV again. Not feeling comfortable at home, I decided to go out for a bit of fresh air. That night, when I returned home and went to the bedroom to sleep, I noticed the atmosphere had changed since the morning. My bed is gone, and all my clothes have been moved. Mariana and I had been sleeping in the same room since we got married, but it seems she moved everything out in these few hours. Our place is a condo with several rooms, one of which was spare. We had been using it as a storage room, but for some reason, my bed and clothes had been moved there. Mariana, why were my things moved over there? Well, it's not like we're going to sleep together anymore, right? Even so, you could have at least discussed it with me first. Mariana looked annoyed and covered her head with the blanket. Realizing that talking more would only worsen the situation, I reluctantly decided to sleep in the room we had been using for storage. From the next day, I was on home standby for a while, so I began doing the piled-up household chores. I didn't want to worsen our relationship any further, but I wondered what I should do. First off, I didn't understand why Mariana had stopped doing household chores or why she had become so harsh towards me. I had heard something before my overseas assignment, but at that time, I ended up not getting any explanation. But I can't let things continue this way. With that thought, I decided to try and talk to Mariana again. Mariana, do you have a moment? I want to talk. Sure, what is it? Mariana seemed to be getting ready to go out, listening to me while doing her makeup. I don't think we can continue like this. Isn't it about time Kata moves out too? Kati, who turns 22 this year, had mentioned wanting to live on her own when she found a job. So, moving forward, it will just be Mariana and me living in this house. Of course, we need to improve our relationship with Kati as well. But first, Mariana and I need to get along. With those thoughts, I began to discuss what we should do from here. First, could you explain why I've become so cold towards me? Do I really need to spell it out for you? I'm truly sorry, but if there's something wrong on my end, I want to know. Even then, Mariana didn't tell me why she had become cold towards me. In the midst of all this, I was called into the office. The words I had feared were spoken by my boss, and I went home with a heavy heart. What my boss told me was a transfer to our overseas branch. I had somewhat sensed this was coming since our overseas branch has few Japanese employees, and someone who speaks English is needed. Initially, the overseas branch was recently established, so there are hardly any employees who can handle English-speaking environments, which is why I was sent on an overseas assignment. Although my overseas assignment ended after 4 years, I was told that it might turn into a formal transfer. I had been on standby at home, waiting for the outcome. With the current situation, it would be difficult to ask Mariana to come with me if I go abroad again. But then again, it feels wrong to go abroad by myself again. Even if we live apart, it doesn't change the fact that we're family. But considering our current situation, I wonder how many would still see us as a family. It seems I need to sort out things with my family before going abroad. Last time, I only spoke with Mariana, so this time, I plan to include Kati and have a discussion with the three of us. It was hard to find a time to talk since both of them are off and out. But as I started preparing to go abroad again, I finally managed to arrange a time to talk. I'm really busy, you know. If you have something to say, can you make it quick? Why do we have to have this conversation again and again? Just bear with me for a bit, both of you. Just when I thought we had time to talk, they started off with such remarks right from the beginning. I'm going to be working overseas for real this time, so I was hoping Mariana would come with me. What, really? Working overseas sounds exciting. I can't speak English, so I hate the idea of going abroad. Kata plans to find a job, and at 22, she should be able to manage on her own. But I was hoping Mariana, who isn't working, would come with me. Yet, when faced with immediate rejection, something inside me snapped. I've never let my family want for anything. I've always fulfilled their wishes and even sacrificed my own hobbies to buy them what they wanted. Still, they never opened their hearts to me. Thinking about it, it seems like these decades have been a complete waste. Why did you come back? Just send us the money and disappear. Just when I was thinking it might be impossible, they lashed out with cruel words. Unable to bear it any longer, I inadvertently lowered my gaze to the ground. Just as I thought. Nothing I say resonates with these two anymore, and they probably wouldn't care if I went abroad and couldn't see them. Finding my downcast look amusing, Mariana and Kata started to giggle. Wait, are you crying? An adult crying is just ridiculous. Can you not cry in front of our daughter? It's embarrassing. I really loved Mariana and made the first move to start our relationship. I proposed because Mariana wanted it, and I went through a lot of trouble to rent an apartment in a prime location. It was because I loved Mariana and cared about Caddy. Sure, I was busy with work, had little time at home, and couldn't spend as much time with my family as I wanted. Still, I tried my best to communicate and even ran home to be with them. I thought my love would be felt by them, but I've reached my limit. I raised my face abruptly, smiled at them, and said, "Is that okay with you?" "Of course, it's okay. Living with you forever is impossible. Nobody will be sad, so just sending money will be fine." To my smiling face, both of them burst into laughter as they said that. I won't regret it anymore. After that, as I began preparing to go abroad, I secretly made a plan. To them, it seemed like they couldn't care less, already treating me as if I wasn't there. Before, such attitudes from them hurt me, but now it was convenient. Because if Mariana wasn't going to come abroad with me, I thought about getting a divorce. Truth be told, right after we got married, we filled out divorce papers. The reason was to be able to divorce quickly if either of us wanted to. Honestly, I never thought the day would come when we would use those papers. But I thought if writing them would make Mariana feel secure, so I stored them in a dresser. It's been about 20 years, so Mariana might have forgotten. The dresser was mine, and I myself only realized the divorce papers were there after returning from my overseas assignment. They were buried deep in the dresser, and I only noticed them when I had to take out all my clothes in preparation for going abroad again. But in a way, I think it's very lucky. By submitting this divorce paper, Mariana and I will no longer be family. Honestly, I don't feel lonely at all in my heart. After the discussion, I proceeded with the paperwork the next day, and I officially became single. But I haven't yet told Mariana and Kata that I filed for divorce. Anyway, whether I'm at home or not, their behavior towards me won't change, and knowing about the divorce won't make them sad. Days passed, and finally, the day came for me to go abroad. Well, I'm off. Take care, both of you. Bye. Send us some souvenirs. I'm going to start looking for a place to live on my own soon, so don't forget to send me money for rent. Until the very end, they didn't show any concern for me. Well, we're strangers now, so it doesn't matter either way. I've already shipped most of my belongings, so all I have to take with me is what's in my carry-on. Arriving at the airport, I was able to board the plane with a calm heart. However, as soon as I landed at the overseas airport, my phone suddenly started ringing. Seeing the caller, Mariana's name flashed on the screen. I had turned off my phone during the flight and hadn't noticed the incredible number of missed calls. As I answered and simultaneously hopped into a taxi headed for my new home, I asked, "Hello, I see you've called multiple times. What's up?" "What is this all about? I just received a notice about the apartment's title change." "Oh, since we're not married anymore and I won't be coming back, I changed it." "What do you mean? Explain this to me." Mariana's shout was so loud it seemed like it could break my eardrums, startling the taxi driver. It seems she received a notification that the title change was completed, but there should be more documents. However, it seems like she hasn't received those yet, as she didn't mention anything about it. For now, I thought to answer her question, opening my mouth to speak. "We're divorced. Also, I decided to move abroad permanently, so I changed the title." "What? Divorce? I haven't filed for divorce, nor do I remember writing such a thing." "You said you wanted to keep one written just in case, so I filed that." After a moment of silence, Mariana seemed to remember, letting out a voice as if she had just realized. Unaware that she had been divorced without her knowledge, Mariana desperately tried to keep me from leaving. "Just go ahead and divorce, come back here first, and we'll talk after that. We never had a proper discussion before. Besides, I have no plans to return." "You can't be serious about moving abroad." "I am serious. I've decided to live here." In reality, it wasn't just another overseas assignment for me. I had officially decided to live abroad. That's why I wanted Mariana to come with me and hope to mend my relationship with Kathy. But even if she says she wants to talk seriously now, I can't trust Mariana. I think the only reason Mariana wants me back is for the money. Mariana has always been a homemaker and never worked full-time. I respected her wish to stay home and wait for me, but her real intention might have been not wanting to work. You can't just divorce me like that. If we're getting divorced, you need to pay me alimony. Alimony? Why should I have to pay you alimony? Because you wasted my time, plus, you should pay for the child support and my living expenses. This is absurd. If I had done something wrong and we were separating because of me, it would make sense to pay alimony. But I haven't done anything wrong, nor do I have any obligation to support her financially. I've arrived at my new home, so call me back after the envelope arrives. Wait, just wait a minute. Ignoring Mariana's pleas to stop, I paid the taxi fare and entered my new home. That evening, after I had finished unpacking, Mariana called again. Surely, the envelope I had sent must have arrived. Hello, did the envelope arrive? What is this? Why would you send something like this, these things? I've been feeling something was off for a while, so I had a detective take these photos. The envelope I sent to Mariana contained evidence of her infidelity taken by a detective I had hired. Right after I returned from my overseas assignment, I noticed something. When I entered Mariana's room, I found an unfamiliar diary on the floor. I hadn't intended to read it, but when I picked it up, I accidentally saw the contents and learned about Mariana's affair. I had suspected something was off for a while, with the sudden lack of housekeeping and less time spent at home. But I never imagined she was having an affair. When I found evidence of the affair, I couldn't accept reality at first and even considered forgiving her. But then I thought, why should I have to make such an effort to mend our relationship when Mariana was the one cheating? Since Mariana wouldn't even agree to a discussion, I was able to file for divorce without any regrets. Hey detective, you went as far as to do that, suspecting me? That's unbelievable. But you were cheating, weren't you? Just admit it. So annoying. It's because you were so inadequate that I turned to someone else. Mariana retorted loudly, not wanting to be outdone by my words. Worse yet, the person she was having an affair with was a classmate of ours. How long have you been involved with him? You could at least tell me that much. Since the reunion we had. That's right. There was a reunion after we got married that I couldn't attend. Mariana must have reconnected with our classmate there, leading to the affair. That must have been about 3 years before my overseas assignment. Thinking about it now, I was cheated on for years without realizing it. It's too late to ask why I never investigated the infidelity before. Such regrets flashed through my mind. But having gathered evidence before moving abroad, I should consider myself lucky. Well, it doesn't matter anymore. Just make sure to pay the alimony written there. Alimony? There's no way I can pay $30,000. By the way, I sent the same to the affair partner's classmate, so expect something from his wife too. Being mocked to this extent, I couldn't rest without getting back at them. So, I decided to claim $30,000 from Mariana and $40,000 from the affair partner. The affair partner worked at a major bank and held a managerial position, if I recall correctly. If this affair led to a lawsuit, he'd be in trouble. My lawyer said it's okay to be aggressive, so I'm claiming $40,000. Of course, the certified mail was sent to the affair partner's home, so it would definitely be revealed to his wife. I absolutely won't pay this. Fine, then let's go through lawyers and have a trial. I'm already prepared. A trial? Wait, don't make such a big deal out of it. That's what I'm saying? Instead of making a big deal, I'm saying I'll take a settlement. I don't know how much savings Mariana has, but I think she could borrow around $30,000 from relatives or friends. And I intend to make her pay the alimony even if it means she has to borrow. I'm not short on money, but I believe there should be an appropriate punishment for cheating. It's absolutely unacceptable for her to live comfortably after having an affair. Give me some time to think. More importantly, are you not coming back to us at all? Yeah, I got permanent residency, so I plan to live here. So, you can't take me with you? What is she thinking? We're already divorced, and now we're arguing over alimony. And yet, she's asking to be brought overseas. She can't even speak English, so what does she plan to do here? There's no way I'd bring you. Besides, how would you live here? You could just let me live in your house. Mariana might still think I have some fondness for her. That's why she can say such disrespectful lines. Looking back, I feel like Mariana treated me like an ADM from the beginning. Mariana is rambling about something over the phone, but to me, it doesn't matter anymore. I don't want anything to do with this person after being betrayed like this. Now, I want Mariana to experience the same feeling of betrayal. That's why I decided to make a video call as my form of revenge. Let's forget about our previous conversation for now. This is where I live now. Saying this, I instantly switched to video call mode. Mariana's phone screen would show the beautiful night view and starry sky seen from a high floor. Holding my phone, I showed her around the house. Living here is cheaper compared to Japan, and it's luxurious. There's a gym inside the apartment complex, and a pool is also available. Overseas looks amazing. I want to follow you over there. Mariana said, her eyes shining simply. However, her attitude changed suddenly when a figure appeared at the edge of the camera. Wait a minute, is there someone there? I saw someone with long blonde hair. Oh, let me introduce her. She's my new girlfriend. What? Hey girlfriend, you just got there today. Were you cheating too? Mariana said in a flustered tone. Then there was the sound of the phone being thrown somewhere. In that moment, the call ended. Well, it's understandable that Mariana would be upset. After all, she was the one cheating, and here I am, supposedly doing the same. Moreover, the woman with long blonde hair who appeared on the camera is in her 30s and very beautiful, which Mariana, being very superficial, probably couldn't stand. But what I said earlier was a lie. The woman on camera was just a friend who came over to help with moving in. Knowing it would be tough alone, friends I met during my overseas assignment came to help. After arriving today and telling them about Mariana's affair, the woman agreed to play along with my story. The moving is almost done, and we plan to have a party now. Free from Mariana and Cabby, I feel incredibly liberated. While receiving congratulations on my divorce, I drank as if I was bathing in alcohol. The next day, I received a call from Caddy, who must have heard about the situation from Mariana. Hey, is it true you divorced Mom? Yeah, it's true. I'm still your dad technically, but you don't have to think of me as your dad anymore. Wait a minute, I just decided on a place to live by myself yesterday. That reminds me, she did say she needed money for her own place. But Caddy is an adult now, and I don't need to support her anymore. And after saying such terrible things, does she really think she can just get money from me now? If it's about money, talk to your mom. I have no plans to return. Mom's not going to give me any money. That house is in your mom's name too. You might not be able to afford the rent, so better move out quickly. I told Caddy everything that was decided because of the divorce, including that I intended to get alimony from Mariana. However, Caddy didn't seem surprised by the word alimony and just kept asking me for money. Maybe, just maybe, Cabin knew about Mariana's affair. That thought crossed my mind. Did you know Mom was cheating? I knew, but so what? More importantly, the money, hurry up and transfer it. I was going to transfer the money if you had sincerely apologized for everything. Truth be told, I couldn't completely hate Caddy. She was Daddy's girl when she was little, always clinging to me, and no matter how badly she behaved, she was still my daughter. But if that continues for years, no matter how much you love them, the affection fades away. I was willing to be Caddy's father again if she had just apologized in the end. But then, after hearing my words, Caddy started apologizing in a panic. I'm sorry, please don't abandon me, Dad. It's too late. I can't be your father anymore. No, you don't understand. Mom told me to act horribly towards you. According to Caddy, Mariana had instructed her to ignore me and spew venom. She begged for forgiveness. To that, I delivered my final words to Caddy. You're an adult now. You must have known it was wrong. Take care, then. Wait, please. Kata seemed to want to say more, but I ended the call without listening to the rest. Later on, a mutual friend informed me about Mariana and Katie's situation. Kata had already signed a lease for a place, deciding to live there. However, she was slightly short on the initial costs and ended up using a cash advance to cover it. Kata will likely find a job soon and be able to pay back the borrowed amount quickly. She has always relied on others for money, but now I hope she learns the importance and the dangers of money. I don't plan to meet Katty again, but from afar, I hope she turns over a new leaf. As for Mariana, as expected, she also received a claim for alimony from her affair partner's wife. Already struggling to pay alimony to me, facing claims from both sides must be overwhelming. Mariana immediately begged classmates and parents for money, but given the amount, they wanted to know why. Classmates refused upon hearing the truth about the affair, and she couldn't tell her parents the real reason, leading to a vague explanation and no loan. Moreover, the affair story spread from the classmate to their parents, and eventually to Mariana's parents. It seems she hadn't even told them about the divorce, and they must have been furious. Mariana's parents did call me to apologize, but I doubt there will be any further involvement with them. Mariana, unable to borrow money from anyone, somehow found a job and started working, but apparently she complains all the time. Given her age and lack of experience in full-time employment, it must have been difficult to find a job willing to hire her. She ended up finding part-time work at a factory, which she says is a terrible place to work. However, she continues to work there because she couldn't find anywhere else. The alimony payments have been steadily deposited into my account, but the amount is quite small. She must be struggling financially. The classmate sent me a current photo of Mariana, and she looked as if she had aged about 10 years. Life may be hard for Mariana now, but I hope she continues to make amends for the terrible things she did to me. A year after moving abroad, I've been told that I look happier. When I was on assignment abroad, I always looked exhausted, with bags under my eyes, and lacked vitality. Now, my expression is much more peaceful, and I'm told I've become kinder to people. Surely, distancing myself from Mariana played a big part in this change. I was under a lot of stress at that time, and I was aware of it. It took a while to separate, but being able to live in a more freeing environment now is truly wonderful. I want to give a round of applause to myself for having the courage to divorce Mariana back then. Though my affection had faded, there was a time I loved her, and emotions made me wish she would come with me abroad. The thought of still being manipulated by Mariana's tyranny had she not spoken so harshly to me back then gives me chills. I'm nearing retirement age, but after retiring, there's so much I want to do. Things I refrain from doing for the sake of my family. I plan to tackle them one by one. No one will stop me now, and I vowed to spend my days enjoying even greater happiness.